basking in the thousands. You see the vodka jar, champions. Celtic way, wait for the ball from side to side, and until they try to hide, the wait for the ball from front to back. Attack, 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 67, and they need to burst back. They're buzzing in the thousands.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 203 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast with myself, Mark. We've got Paul Ways tonight. Evening, Paul.
Evening, Mark. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Good to be on again.
It's good to be back on, isn't it? Just guys, we've just not been on simply. Guys are busy with their work and family stuff and things like that. So it's good to get back on. But we're going to go on it again. But they've been better under happier circumstances. Yeah, we've got the Bishop Ways tonight. Evening, John. How are you doing?
Not bad. How's yourself?
I am good there. John's we need to get you one, Paul. We need to find something for you. Yeah, the Bishop in the house. The Bishop in the house as well.
You might have been better. I've had a couple of days to digest things, eh?
This is a blog podcast for our forum over at www.celticrumours.co.uk. Everybody's more than welcome over there. There's links to the forum, the Discord and everything down below as well. There's a link to join the Celtic pools as well. If you do that, then you get a free copy of Henrik Larsson's book. Although I don't know if it's a new book. I don't know what's different from every other book they've had about him, but there's a new one out anyway. Some wee shout-outs to some of the lads for the forum and that. Terence, I don't know if Terence is about or no. Big Campsey, Gregor, Jerry McGinnell, Tim Alloy, Mikey, Wee John United Ireland, Big Jabber, Kev, Malika, Welshie. Who have we got? Nobody that many in the night because we've not been on for a while, but who have we got? Bobby's wasn't the first in the night. I see Campsey. Evening, Liam, thanks for joining us. Grot bags.
Who does Campsey or £30, huh?
Aye. We'll half that, Paul. We'll half that.
When I saw the money there, I was like, I did.
Big Campsey had a bet at £30 that Paul would pull out at 6:29 the night for doing the pod. Evening, Brian, nice to see you, bud. William Smith, thanks for coming in. Patrick, I think I said all right to Patrick. You're all right again. Well, might as well start with talking about Sunday's game. Absolute. For me, there's no excuses, Paul. John, there's absolutely no excuses.
Do you know what, Mark? Looking back at the game, the thing that's concerning for me mostly is our approach to the game again by Rodgers, because he knew they were going to do the high press again on us, which actually worked, and it worked again because they were cutting out the passes that Schmeichel was giving the back four. They were cutting them out. They nearly scored from 2-3 them at one stage. But that's the most worrying thing for me is like he changed nothing. That game was calling out for Adam Ida to do the long ball, let him hold it up and beat their press. You beat that press, Mark, you're winning top of that back three. You know? That's what that...
It's got, I mean, all through the week and that you heard, I mean, let's no beat about the bush, you know. I mean, Rodgers talks the talk all the time, we know that. But that on Sunday is one of the few times that he's actually really kind of let himself down, in my opinion. Evening, Dr. Strangelove, nice to see you, bud. Bobby, 1962, nice to see you as well, mate. Because all week it was like, I don't see anything different from what the previous manager was doing, which was him having a wee probably a dig at maybe Barry Ferguson's like inexperience as he just came in and tried to just get more out of the players than Clement was getting. but still using the same kind of systems and stuff like that. But he made it all the kind of smug wee digs in that, and then as you say, it went out there on Sunday, and again the team was set up the exact same way it was in the previous 2 games where we struggled against them. And it's all right, people saying, "Oh, Cal McGregor wouldn't have made an inch of difference to that game on Sunday." McGregor was playing.
But you look at it there, and this was the first game in the first time in the first half that I actually saw Tavernier have a good game. And the reason because of that, Mark, is because Dyson wasn't down the left.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows the job that Dyson Meada actually does in Tavernier. And when Meada moves on to the left, he gets a goal straight away against Tavernier.
That's why I don't like Maeda playing through the middle, Paul. It becomes real. I mean, I think they said at half time or at the beginning of the second half on Sunday that he'd 1 touch of the ball in that full first half.
Yeah.
No, for me, Maeda, he does well playing in the middle, and again, Rodgers would prefers him playing out in the wing. He said that he didn't want to play him through the middle, but he's kind of been forced to do it after Kyogo left. But for me, Maeda is still far more effective out in the wide.
Most definitely. And I was looking then as well. Sorry, for jumping in there. Like the left-hand side was poor. Yarsa Wright had the 2 chances, but and I'm actually surprised by Alistair Johnson because he's had a great season. Between himself and Kuhn in the first half, they gave away the ball between them 17 times, Mark. 17 times they gave the ball away between Johnson and Kuhn.
Kuhn's dropped her form off that went off a cliff the last couple of months. But
I think it's since we signed Yotta, Mark, because when we signed Yotta, the first game that he came on, it was a substitute by Kuhn. And Kuhn wasn't happy that he got taken off. Remember that? And it's ever since then, I think Kuhn has just dropped off.
I can't really mind that. But that's part and parcel of the game, Paul. You're not going to be playing in every game or every minute of the games.
I still want you to turn up, though, Mark, don't you?
But Kuhn, Alistair Johnson was, I don't know what happened to him. That's the worst performance I've seen for Alistair Johnson, that Celtic shirt. Slip with a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. I mean, people have got, I'm going about it, Greg Taylor. Imagine Greg Taylor had put in the shift that Schlupp had on Sunday. Imagine Tony Ralston had put in the shift that Johnson put in. Imagine Liam Scales or Trusty put in the shift that Carter Vickers put in, because he was dug Vickers.
We were all worried about Navosky, Mark, and he was the best player in the pitch.
Aye.
You know, Carter Vickers, it's like he ducked away from that third goal or something. I don't know what he was doing. Really don't know what he was doing, Mark.
I mean, I've said it for a while. I mean, he's always roping the Champions League for me, Carter Vickers. He reminds me a bit like Van Dijk when he was here. Van Dijk, he kind of just strolled through games, but Van Dijk could raise his game when we needed him to. So that's how you knew Van Dijk could go into bigger and better things, and obviously he has. Do you know what I mean? But it reminds me like the young Van Dijk, seeing a game that we're cruising and no under any kind of great pressure. Carter Vickers can play with slippers on, but see when the chips are down, that's just something he always seems to have a mistake in him. And when we're on top and controlling the game and that, everything's hunky-dory, but whenever there's any kind of real pressure, I'm not convinced that Carter Vickers is as good as a lot of Celtic fans say he is, and I've said that for a while about him.
I tell you, Mark, and this is my own opinion, I'd like to hold on to Navosky for another year and see what progress he can actually make, because because I texted you there before the game, he's only played 15 minutes of football all season and get thrown into that game. How many times did he actually help get Schlupp out of right. He got Schmeichel out of trouble there loads of times with his tackles. Do you know what I mean?
Schmeichel as well. He'd another horror show as well, I thought. I don't know. It was just like
there was a whole nervousness around that back five, between Schmeichel to the back four. It's like Schmeichel made a pass, but Alistair Johnson didn't want that pass. Do you get me? Like Schmeichel would put the ball to Alistair Johnson, but Alistair Johnson was maybe turned to his right and the ball would go to the left. Do you know what I mean? It was like there was
even
no...
that again, Paul. There's far too much. There's far too much that just we've always kind of moaned about. Even under Ange, it seems to be a part of the modern kind of game. But I mean, well, it seems to be getting found out a lot more. I mean, even look at Man City. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of getting Pep's kind of getting fun out down there a wee bit this season. So he'll probably need to go and tweak his tactics. And Rodgers definitely needs to tweak something, especially when especially it seems to be in these derby games, because it's just.
Why
I mean, honestly, I don't know. Somebody in the chat would probably know better than me. How many games had Connor Barron played recently, or was he injured or that? How many games did he play under Clement? Barry Ferguson's probably in there and just asked all the players in that who's up for a fight here today. I mean, some of the tackles on my Maeda were shocking. I'm not using it as an excuse or that, but there was a lot of tackles.
The studs were up there in one of those tackles, and VAR didn't even get involved in it. They didn't have a look at it. The studs were up. I think it was Almeida. You know, Yasha got a few. Yang came on and he got clobbered as well. Do you know what I mean? They should have known it, and Rodgers should have known the type of player that Ferguson is, Mark. And when we played County Hearts that time, what kind of a game to expect from Rangers on Sunday?
But we've got nothing to counter that, Paul.
No, we don't.
And I know, and let's be honest, it's part of the modern game. They call it the dark arts and all that. But again, we just get out muscled in midfield. I thought Hatate, especially in the first half, Hatate was like a low stug in the first half. Even we look McCowan, I didn't think we were too good a first half. And Engels,
do you know, Mark?
But see the fact
do you know who we're missing? Do you know who we're missing, Mark? Do you know who we're missing, Mark? And this is my opinion. We're missing, even if it's his impact off the bench or anything like that. Bernardo. I think Bernardo's a big loss. Even in coming off the bench, the way he can actually hold up the ball or make a pass.
Much longer is he going to boot for?
I don't know. There seems to be no side, because McCown wouldn't have started that game, Mark, if Bernardo was fit on Sunday.
No.
You know, and I thought McCown was. I thought this was a chance for him now, Mark, because he likes to go in for a tackle and he doesn't kind of get brushed off the ball lightly either himself. But I thought he was very poor on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, really, apart from Narovsky, but Paul. And again, he's still got to take a responsibility of being part of a defence that shipped 3 goals. So he's not getting half it. But apart from him, I wouldn't give any other player pass marks on Sunday.
No.
I mean, I see this minute in time, I've still not actually seen it. The Alistair Johnson miss, because as soon as they went 3-2 up, I just turned it off. So I've not even seen Alistair Johnson miss. I can't comment on that. The one at the very end, he's meant to have missed a sitter.
But, he did, yeah. I
mean, it was a terrible game. It wasn't much a game to watch at all.
Is it Philip there? McLaughlin's just saying the right thing there. We've got this 16 points ahead attitude, Mark, and which is I think is the approach, Mark, we have, because.
But again, then that's down to Rodgers to get them out of that, Patrick, isn't it?
And it's a dangerous thing, Mark, because. If we're turning up the games like that, and then we get into the cup games, it's very hard, Mark, to get out of that run going into a cup game. You know, we were the same against him. You know,
see if they beat us. See if the last derby when they beat us, right? It's like every time I've watched them, we've spoke about it in the group chats on WhatsApp and stuff like that. Every time I've watched them fade in, I still can't believe that they beat us so easily and overran us so easily in that last game. And yet they've came in, although the scoreline's a bit closer and we were in the game for a long spell, but they've still came back and done us again after losing to Motherwell, losing to Queen's Park. I mean, it's the same. It's the
Then
same.
again, Mark, it's down to our own mistakes. Do you get me? The slack pass here, the slack pass there.
Oh,
Do you know,
aye.
gifting them goals. Do you know what I mean? Gifting them goals.
I've said, but we spoke about this, Paul T, after the last game when they beat us. It's as if they're how do I put this without it sounding stupid? It's as if they're not going for the ball, Paul. They're going for the nick where the ball's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get what I mean? It's as if they can, right? It's like when all this passing about at the back and stuff like that. They, instead of going to try and win pressing on Carter Vickers, they know that Carter Vickers is going to do whatever, and they're pressing where the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Vickers is going to pass it. Vickers going to pass it to Vosky. The Vosky is going to pass it to Schlupp, and they know that. You know, and they know as well, Mark, that Coon's not going to go down the line. He's going to turn in. You know. And
again, I'm speaking of it, I put that on the forum the other day. Somebody was talking about that, and it does man not in as well that Coon, because Maeda and Jota don't really try and hit the line as much either. But these are down to. I mean, that's obviously it's down to Rodgers' tactics. That's what Rodgers is telling them to do. But surely you're looking for the element of surprise to an extent, Paul. You're wanting to fall back. It's like if you're playing against Kuhn, you know 10 times out of 10 he's cutting inside. Jota's 9 times out of 10 he's cutting inside. Probably the same with Maeda. They're cutting it in or holding it up to play the overlap the fullback coming up. So there's no element of surprise. There's no the fullbacks know what the player's going to do, so they can prepare for that. There's no doubt in the fullback's mind where the ball's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so predictable.
The only one, Mark, that kind of goes down the ring is Yang. He's about the only one, you know.
I mean, Yang, that's a transformation in that young boy.
He got his hole, Mark. What you expect? I got my hole as well, Mark. By be fucking knee replacement on new replacement. I'd be doing laps of the estate. Jesus Christ, you know. She's gone home now. I say but yeah, we're just out for you to drop off in farm.
I always said I thought there was something in it, and I thought Rodgers must see something in him because he had them always about the squad and stuff like that. But I mean, I think everybody kind of says get him out on loan for a season and see what he can do in Scotland, like with another Scottish team. But I mean, right now, I'd be starting before Kuhn now. I really would.
Yeah, most definitely, Mark. Yeah,
because you've got to get. I know you can't just like players or maybe Kuhn's just getting through a bit of a dodgy spell. You're no want him. Do you know what I mean? Getting dropped in his head, getting down here even lower. But when you've got guys snapping at their heels, you've got to say to players, look, if you're not playing at the top of your game, you're not playing. It's as simple as that. We're going with who's on form and who's doing the damage for us. And at this minute in time, Kuhn Yang looks a far better bet than Kuhn does it on that right-hand side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's tracking back as well, Mark Yang. Do you know what I mean? You know. Where's John gone? Is John gone, is he?
No, he's muted himself.
No, I'm here.
Oh, he's here. He's there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
So what's your take on Sunday, John?
I just think he's pretty much said then I was going to say, but Brendan Rodgers' ego cost us that game on Sunday. That's what cost you the game. You've watched. I ain't no tactical genius, but I've watched them. I'd watched them in Europe, and I watched the Queen's Park game when they couldn't beat Queen's Park. I watched St Mirren beating them at the Bronx. I watched Motherwell beating them at the Bronx. 3 games in a row they lost at Ibrox, and I had posted on the banter page. I had said that at that time, does Rodgers change us? Does he sit in, treat this as a European game? We don't need to win the game. We don't need to win the game. He invite them in tapias, The game at Ibrox on the 3rd of January was crying out for a change of tactics, for a long ball, to play route one over the top of them. They done the same again with you on Sunday. They put 5 in the middle of the park. We've got fucking 3. They cut off all the routes to pass through the lines. They done, is a terminology, the vulture press. They press you that high up the park, and then they bang in, capitalise any mistake. They bullied you as well. Now, Roger's seen this. I watched the cup final in Derry, and they done it to you in Derry. You get away with that one. You get pumped in the 3rd of January. And you know what? I was walking along the Gallagher game, and I'm thinking, I've got one concern here today. The Brendan Rodgers' ego means he doesn't change things, and he shows you can't change that against Atalanta. He changed it against Bayern Munich. Now, I'm not saying that's what you were playing on Sunday, but they've learned how to play. Yeah, in your face, fucking bully you in the middle of the park, in your face, shut you down, let you have the ball if you want to have the ball. As soon as you get a mistake, that horseshoe fucking passing run the bag, and we done nothing different. Rodgers learned. He's learned nothing for the 2 previous games, and he was Billy Big Bawz as well before the game. Easy. If I'd have been reading the Daily Record headline in Monday morning, fucking Brendan was humbled by Barry with the Brogues, eh?
Like two defeats is bad, but 3 defeats in a row, Mark, will be disaster if that happens. You know.
Paul, he's actually made it now that going to Ibrox is a big game. Either that, or you've set a precedent. The
next season
for next year. Physical. He talks about power in the middle of the park. I've not seen power in the park. They done the same again. 5 in the middle of the park again, eh? And we've got 3. We get a bit better driving when McCowan moves a bit further forward in the second half. If there's any slack to cut Rodgers, Barry Ferguson actually had more options in terms of placing like for like in terms of quality after the bench than we had. We had nothing on that bench. That was going to come on and turn that game. Now,
but to be fair, that's down to injuries, John. I mean, if you've got a fully fit squad, anyway, the likes of that young lad Bonner, and that's getting near the squad.
If you'd have bought a striker, bought a striker in January, you wouldn't have. If you'd have bought a central defensive midfielder that we've been shouting for 2 years, you could have made the difference. I don't think I've seen more B team players on a Celtic bench in my time of watching Celtic. So when I posted that comment on the banter page the other day, somebody said bollocks because Brendan Rodgers said himself he gets the last say on any players. Nah, he does. And what was evident in January to me was that whatever number of players he was presented, he says, "Don't give me any more donkeys. I've had enough donkeys." Eh?
That wee Des.
Aye.
That's that old man, Chris, man. I don't have the hard time even read his post to edit him. I can't even handle reading his post, man. He's a cantankerous old get, man. So he is.
Oh, I should have known that's who it was because
that's who it is. Aye, pops up the live chat and that as well. Aye.
Yep. So I think when you look at that bench, you think what's coming off that bench to make any difference? And see, Paul, need to disagree. Naroki, never in a fucking month or Sundays, never. He's not got the play. He's not got the pace to play as a Celtic centre half. He's fine. He's back against the wall at that. But you ask him to play further up the park. As soon as they punt that ball at Tappy and you've got grass to cover, he's struggling. In fact, their back 5 is struggling. Well, he was the best out of the 5. I think we've got the wee group chat. The guys, we've got a wee group chat among ourselves, just to see who's coming on here. And what did I post tonight? Question 1, was Greg Taylor dressed up as Jeffrey Slook? Question 2, was Barkas appointed as goalkeeping coach? And question 3, did loyalist paramilitaries get to Alistair Johnson's family? What happened with that back five, man?
I don't know.
Schmeichel had a howler. CCV had a howler. Johnson, worst game I've ever seen him have in a Celtic jersey. Sloop, fuck. I don't know what happened to Sloop. Morocco was the best at the back five.
And even at that, see with the likes saying Narossi having come in there, as Paul says as well, he's hardly kicked a ball a season and stuff like that. You're looking at the experience of Schmeichel.
Absolutely.
And Carter Vickers, even Sloop. I mean, Sloop's 32, do you know what I mean? I know he's not really played at any big higher level, but Alistair Johnson has been through derby games and stuff like that. You're looking at the type of guys to help a young guy that you're expecting to maybe have a mistake in or shite yourself a bit. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, I mean, everybody I've spoke to said the same thing. Narowski was the best defender that we had out there. So where is this kind of we're going about all these big characters in the changing room and stuff like that? That full defence, Walter like a week old Fleur.
I'm not buying that we didn't. If P. McLaughlin was saying there was did the team have we're 16 points ahead mentality? No, I don't think they did.
Steal your rivals.
I think the managers. I think the managers got. I think the manager's ego. He disrespected them. He disrespected them. We didn't need to win the game. I was walking along the Gallagher and I'm thinking, see if that man's got any humility. He'll sit in a bit and he'll just tell the rest of the Celtic support, listen, this is how we're playing this way today here. We don't need to win the game. We're going to sit in, we're going to invite them on the tappies because they can't play against a low block, and then we're going to use Maida, Kuhn and Jota and exploit their pace to hit them in the break. And it comes out, first 3 minutes for 1-0, and you think, you've learned fucking none there, Brendan. And you were on the telly on Friday night, mumping your fucking gums, eh? It's the bottom line is it was fuck. I can't believe how he approached that game. I really can't. Brendan was humbled by Barry every day of the week. As much as it was a victory for staunchness. They're no any better, but they were up for a cup.
Protestant work ethic.
Absolute Protestant work ethic, right in your fucking face, wasting time. Black arts, firing water into women and wains in the main fucking stand, doing gunfire in fucking stances as well. Let them try that through the middle of Glasgow.
Do you know what?
It's becoming a bit of petty hate of mine. See, it's throw-ins. Why does it need to be either Alistair Johnson or Sloop or Greg Taylor that takes the throw-ins?
Why does Alistair Johnson commit for the second half? Why does Tony Ralston, possibly the best crosser with the ball you've got at the club, why does Tony Ralston not come out in the second half? I see, if there's any slack for Rodgers, it's a lack of options you had off the bench. Listen, don't get me wrong. I said it on the banter page today. Yes, they wake up. In that morning. I was there myself. I was there when we were at Decanted to Hampden. I was there many times during the 80s and the 90s. You'd be celebrating away like a dafty, the same way as they were in Sunday. If they had any dignity, they'd have walked off, 13 points behind. And celebrating, and then you wake up in the morning and you think, you know what, see it again, we've won fuck all. So
it's crumbs for the table, John.
Absolutely. Crumbs for the Masters table. They'll
have the DVD out. We beat Celtic twice trophy.
They've got to wake up to that reality, right? But here's the reality: we need to wake up to, and Brendan Rodgers needs to wake up to. As I said, we've played them 3 times, lost 9 goals against them. A 3-0 defeat and away, and a 3-2 defeat at home. That's also reality, eh? And for a man that's taken $2.5 million as a manager and meant to be an elite manager who gets beat with who gets put to the sword by a team who man for man, is there any other players who get into the Celtic team? Managed by a guy who's his CV's got fucking Alloa and Celtic Hearts on it. Is that all Brendan Rodgers is going to his going to his locker, eh?
It's I mean, unless I mean it's right, we can go on, right. They get beat with Queen's Park, right? Even early years in that, you can go on about shock results and like managers punching above their weight and stuff like this. But for it to be happening in a Celtic Rangers game, do you know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. I totally agree with you, John. Brendan Rodgers, I think, let himself down last week with what he was saying in the press and stuff like that to what actually we saw on that pitch on Sunday. I think it was a case of just that he thought that we just need to turn up here and we'll win this.
Absolutely. I don't think the players bottled it. I don't think it's tongue in cheek when I say it was a victory for staunchness. They didn't.
No, but that's what I said earlier, John. For me, Barry Ferguson's went round that squad and the whole kind of shite they come out with. If you get the battle fever on to stand tall and proud and shite, that. I mean, guys like Connor Barron and that out there trying to would have ran through a brick wall for Barry Ferguson on Sunday.
Absolutely. You just
see what I mean?
They've got 5 across the park again. They're cutting off every route to play through the lines. They've 2 men that they're hunting in packs every time. You've got agree with you. I've seen nothing different on Sunday than I watched at Ibrox, than I watched at the Cup final. Now, if I can see it, if Brendan Rodgers can change it against Atalanta and he can change it against Bayern Munich and learn from his previous campaign, he disrespected them on Sunday, which is a lack of humility on my part, and he paid the price for it, and he deserves everything he gets. So the big question
is you have the big unit like Almeida, who can actually hold the ball. He can actually hold up the ball, and not once when we brought him on, we were still trying to pass out from the back. Not once did we kind of throw the ball over the top to beat the press. Not once. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely coming from Rodgers. Do you know what I mean?
You had the same thing. You had the same thing in the 3-0 defeat at Ibrox, Paul. Yeah. They done the same thing. They put 5 in the middle of the park, cut off all your passing through the lines. You're thinking, oh, come on, man, just sit a bit deeper here and hit a long ball over the top here and give it 2-1. Give Maida and Jota something to run into here and play it in at that time with Kyogo.
Exactly. The pace that we have up top.
Absolutely.
You know.
And he played, but you get no change. You get nothing. Mm-hmm. But he could sit and bump his gums on Friday night about almost very disrespectful, I think, to Barry Ferguson and to Rangers in general. Not that I have much respect for him, but that's if he's going to talk the talk, he needs to be able to walk the walk. His record against them over the piece, his 2 stints here has been impeccable. But I tell you one thing, it's on the table now, and he's got all the proof when he goes to Ibrox.
Because if he'd won that on Sunday,
yep,
you're like, right, we've got one more game against him, we're going to Ibrox. You take a draw, you take a loss. It's a dead rubber, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But after the last couple of games and then this on Sunday, it's a case of we don't need to go there and win, but we want to, so we do need to. It's became that important just to break that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Exactly. It's psychological though.
Aye. I mean, in that, even at that, the thing about it, even as I said, John, you said when you came on, we spoke about it in the wee group chat. Every time we watched them, we still couldn't believe that they beat us 3-0 at Ibrox.
Absolutely.
And yet they've come out and done us at home this time. Because that was the thing I thought because we were at home on Sunday, I thought we were a stick on. Do you know what I mean? I really did. Just because it was at Celtic Park, I thought.
So did I.
I thought that was the game changer for us, kind of thing. But
so did I, Mark. But as I said to you, I'm walking up the Gallagate, and my biggest question mark isn't he over Celtic to have what it takes to beat Barry and the boys. But my biggest concern is Rodgers' arrogance, that he underestimates him, disrespects him, and doesn't think he needs to change it. as I said, we saw it. He done it against Atlanta. We were there, and he showed you can be pragmatic. He done the same thing against. Now, you think the team he watched against Bayern Munich? I've never seen Celtic playing out for the back better in my lifetime than the game against Bayern Munich. You know, and it was almost as if the players, you can't absolve them, but it's almost as if they've been told to go out and do the same thing again, and it's failed again. It's just, as I said, the only slack about Kurt Rodgers is the lack of options he had on the bench.
I could agree with that, aye, but I mean, but even down to that bit, John, it's like, I mean, their players, I mean, they're all getting, they bum up all their players and stuff like that, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Celtic fan and they're Rangers players and that, but there isn't a player in that team that there isn't a. I mean, you see it on the newspapers. Oh, this guy's going to end up going for this many millions, this many. But it's not, we know it's no work. Do you know what I mean? They get 800,000 for what, 5 or 6 players gone with their last accounts, and now they've promised the next 2 tranches of transfer fees to some bank out of that. So it shows the kind of state they're in. But it's at the time with Connor Barn, and then it was a community. Oh, Celtic tried to sign him, but he chose Rangers or Celtic. That's bullshit. I said at the time, see if Celtic wanted to sign Connor Barn would beat Celtic. It's as simple as that. Because he's got no emotional tie to Rangers. I know he looks like one of them, but he grew up an Aberdeen fan, which is why the Aberdeen fans were so pissed off when he signed for them. So if Celtic wanted to sign Connor Barn, Celtic would have signed him, but they obviously didn't, because it's just, he's really no good enough. But that first half we made him look like one of the best midfielders in Scotland.
Same. I mean, if I'm same with Raskin, he's got no right to get away from slip either. There, he bullies you, and the fucking referees. I'm going to that later, and I don't want to make excuses. The referees are atrocious, but you're thinking once again, if I've got 10 points to award for who's to blame for Sunday, 8 of them goes to Rodgers. One of them goes to the fact that once again we're bullied. We've been shouting out for a we tried Engels in the 6th row. He moves McCown a bit further forward to get a bit of joy out on. Great ball for Hatate. I thought Hatate was statistically Maida was the best man in the park. But seemingly there's no a frame that you can watch that game in. Hatate, he's no in it. So he was very unlucky. He could have had a couple of goals. Johnson could have burst the net right in the last minute as well, but that just about summed up his name. But once again, you were fucking bullied in the middle of the park. You can crap talking to my wee mate Fideri last night. Well, you could say Neil Lennon. I never seen Neil Lennon hit a pass more than fucking 10 yards, but he could break up. And he was a spoiler. He could break up the play. They wee legs running.
I was listening to
somebody, a Scott Brown, someday. Kearney should have had a. What's their player? Is it Kearney? The boy
Kearney, as you pronounce it.
He should have had a mouth be a red ash in the first fucking 5 minutes, And the same we're asking. Somebody should have been through him as well. And we're running about there like a bunch of pussies, and they bullied you again.
See, that's it, John. That's it. You go back to the times of Scott Brown, the likes of Neil Lennon, Peter Grant. They were the first players to make the tackles. Let their players know we're up for the fight. Celtic don't have that player anymore. You don't have it.
I heard a good point. It was made. As I said, I don't think McGregor. Maybe McGregor wouldn't have made a big difference. Where to me would have made a difference. I heard a couple of boys talking about it. Was he'd have been in the referees. He's been in the referees. He'd have been in the referees' ear. See when you're getting, but that attack on Maida was an assault as well. See when you're getting booted up and down the park like that. It's time you to say, like, let's go and put one in and see.
Yeah, I actually thought Vickers was very, very poor as the captain. I really did.
He was, but at that point, you're saying, if we're the first one that then attracts a booking, you're saying, what the fuck, ref? They got away with, they've got away with a dozen here, But why we first with a yellow card? And I just thought there was no communication on the part, there was no captain on the part. So to me, maybe in terms of what he would have contributed to the game in terms of the system, I'm not sure. But the one thing it would have been better, he'd been in the refs here, and you'd had a bit of communication between them. McLean was fucking horrendous, Bobby. He was absolutely fucking horrendous. He named her after the park.
There when we took the free kick. Remember that? We took the free kick. And Hitas was either gone, he blew it back to take it back.
Aye, Paul. I wondered about that one.
They're off the park celebrating with the Rangers. With the Rangers, but at one point they go in and they decide to have a fucking water break. You laugh. What the fuck's going on here?
What I did notice as well was see all the substitutions. All the substitutions took an eternity because every one of them, all the wee guys, Barry, fucking Neil McCann, McGregor, they all to get their neb in. They were all jumping about. It was like that's seen out a still game. With the football coaches following copying what the other ones were doing. Absolute bedlam. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm doing. These guys don't have a clue really what they're doing. I mean, it's all right coaching down at Alloa and Kilty Hearts and stuff like that. But apart from that, none of these guys. I mean, that's the thing about it.
I don't think he's a man.
That's why, John, I'm with you. I think there's something. Rodgers' approach to the game's just been all wrong for the full week.
Listen, eight points out your if there's 10 points going here for guilt here, Rodgers gets fucking 8 of them. He gets it. Apparently there's a, don't quote me on this, but apparently there's a Moroccan coach still there that was, I think he was the assistant manager to Clermont, was he? And apparently, apparently the way that they're set up there with 5 across the middle with the vulture press, apparently that's how Morocco play as well. Fucking Barry's as thick as shite in the neck of a bottle. He ain't no tactical.
I mean, I'm not, and I don't mean this the way it's going to sound, but Barry's a kind of figurehead. It's like Walter Smith.
Listen, him and his staff laugh burst their rib. Barry and his staff have brought to the fucking party is their sashes. That's all they brought to the fucking party. Their bowler hats and their sashes. There's somebody else in there that tactically is carried on because Clermont was effectively getting there. We were starting to ask, did they have Rodgers' number in the cup final? A missed penalty, you lost that game, 3-0 at Ibrox. And Barry's just picked. But listen, I don't even think they're fucking daft enough as Guy Barry the job. I would love to think they were, but I don't even think, even when you go in and you listen to them, they're talking about it's good to see Rangers men in charge. I'm thinking, you're right. One's thicker than another one is. I don't even think they're fucking daft enough as Guy Barry the job.
Well, stranger things have happened.
Aye, they all have, aye.
No many right enough, but
exactly right. And then we have the Celtic board poking a shell in the eye before the game as well. With the whole typho fucking bit as well. So
that's ridiculous. All that.
Do you think? Forget the bit that happens with the Green Bay before the game. I don't know enough about it, but I'm talking about the Celtic board's action in terms of ban. Do you think Rangers would have banned? Do you think Rangers would have banned a typho for the Onion Bears before they played us at Ibrox? What the fuck?
No chance. You'll be glorifying it.
I done the same as the Green Brigade done on Sunday. I went in, the lassie came up and says to me, I need to search. I says, you're not searching me. I says, I'm fucking 60 years of age. I'm not getting searched, I says, wait, what have I got on me here? I'm not getting searched. And she let me by. And that's not the first time I've done that, And these boys getting stopped.
You're just saying that because Mrs. Bishop must be listening, and some young lassie wanted to give you a wee rub up, and you said no. I was the boy with you. The boy would have grashed you. No. Ma'am, he went back 3 times for a lassie to search him.
He was my laddie was in first. I'd went in the train. He was at mass. He was at mass for the weigh-ins in the morning, so he couldn't come in the train, and he just got me in there, and he got a run in, and we come back together on the train right enough,
But I mean, you can see why they want to maybe.
Oh, come on, man!
Get people get into the stoning section and that kind of thing.
Aye, absolutely.
But I don't mean this. I don't mean this to sound the right suit, but no, an old guy like you, sorting up. No, I mean, but fuck, John, it's where you go. You're just getting. You're a 1B guy yourself, stoting up to the game. It's not as if you're going to be fucking sneaking a smoke bomb into standing near your cell at 60-year-old, just letting off a flare in the middle of the North Stand.
You get a better crack at Derry Airport. I remember coming through Derry Airport one time, and we were coming through Derry Airport one time, and the custom boy says, "Have you get any liquids?" No, you get asked, "You get any liquids on you?" I says, "No, just my gun." She says, "That's fine, as long as you've no liquids, eh?" So, the wife, you want to see the look I got that day, eh? I thought I was actually. I had said it before I actually even thought about it. She says, "Nah, I've no liquids, just my gun." She said, "That's fine, as long as you've no liquids, eh?" But I says, "I'm not getting searched here, eh?" And she said, "Fair enough."
But how did they get pyro in?
I don't know. Some of them had masks on too, eh?
Aye. I mean, fair play. I thought it was hilarious that they'd be in the ground for half 10 they'd be in for.
You know, Sunday only served one. McLean was fucking atrocious. He really was, eh?
But
I've not heard many people talk about it.
Just getting back to the fans and that, John. Right, as I've said before, I've not got a season ticket anymore, so I don't really phone either side of the fence. I'd leave it up to the guys that go to the games when they talk about whether you would let them back in or whether you wouldn't. I think even the stuff surrounding the game and the way the Celtic fans for a home game, the way the Celtic fans get treated, is shocking. And I think that is going to put a lot of pressure on the board now to reel this back in and maybe just say, look, in future.
I can't make my mind up about this. I've said to you before, and I'm with Camp saying this one. I wouldn't care. I never seen them again. If they went off the planet again tomorrow, it would be a day too. It wouldn't be a day. It'd be a day too fucking late for me if they went off the planet again tomorrow. You're coming back in. Does it add something to the atmosphere and the spectacle? Probably. Does it do something for Scottish football in terms of? But
Joy, what is the spectacle? Fucking F the Pope and all that. Do you know what I mean? This is great.
See their songbook.
Mm-hmm.
Their songbook is absolutely nauseating. The songbook is an affront to him. I wouldn't even mention it in here tonight. There's just songs I just can't get my head around about that somebody would try to get any kind of bang for your bucket. I just think, there's places you just, there's topics you just don't go to, and they just cross the fucking line, eh? It's they're just toxic, and everything about them is toxic. So I don't know. I've seen a better atmosphere at Celtic Park than they were in, eh?
But look at the Hibs game.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I'm only going with what I watched on telly, but if people even after it tell us, it was a great atmosphere all game.
Yep.
And it's like we play all the teams we play in Scotland, the teams we play in Europe, excuse me, some of the most hostile fans in Europe come to Celtic Park. We don't need to put nets up.
I've been at all the Champions League games this year. I can't remember what that game was. But the wee boy goes there and he gets them all going. And I mean, that fucking absolute vitriol for start to finish, eh? As I said, I don't even want to. I'm not even going to use the words that they were singing. They're just Fucking cretins, they really are. And
But it's
was the young boys getting Bobby? You're right.
it seems to be coming around Europe now with this kind of arrest and stopping fans who were part of the ultras across every club. Like you see a lot of it now in Poland. There, a lot of the ultras would be arrested on their way to the games. Do you get me? You know. So it's I think a lot of it's coming from UEFA as well. You know,
but UEFA's getting no say on anything that happens in Scottish football.
Well, I know that, Mark, but I'm saying it's happened across Europe that the ultras of clubs are being stopped getting into games. Do you get me? So
that maybe it's a UEFA thing that's saying over the next couple of years we're going to make you rein this in, so you need to start reining it in the new yourself or something like
that. Yeah, kind of a thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, because like over in Poland, like they're getting dragged out of their houses because of their associations with their clubs. You know.
But they're all meeting up in fields and punching shit at each other. A couple of years do you know, in there in Poland?
Fucking, I tell you,
man.
I
mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's ultras and then there's all that.
I never forget, Mark, and I said it 2 years ago. It was an under-16s game between Lech Poznan and Legia Warsaw, and there was no club matches on that day. And the match now was being played in a small underage park, you know what I mean? No stands, no stadium, nothing, just a normal pitch. The ultras on both sides of the teams turned up, about fucking 400 in each side, with their flares at the side. Next at half time, all hell broke loose and everything at the match. There was no police there because the police didn't know they were coming. Jesus Christ, man, I never forget. Just
some of that European side, it's a bit wild, man. Do you know what I mean? Even compared to what it was like for us back in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. The board definitely knew there was a move on there on Sunday morning. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I've no JP Taylor. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he came out of this covering himself too well. If you see, he must have had one day this and he could have let somebody know what was going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's women and kids here, do you know what I mean? Just standing kettle to the post for what, 4 hours, 5 hours, no need to go to the toilet and stuff like that.
Always should be stopped, Mark, going into a game, you know.
But Paul, the thing this wasn't even the footprint of the stadium. This was up at where the supporters club is, along the road.
There was allegations at the club where the club was party to that. I'm not buying. I don't think I'm buying that. Because JP was up there apparently trying to negotiate with the police to get them away.
If the club were intact, they wouldn't have come up with that statement.
Nah,
I think as small as it was, at least they came up with a statement.
I think the fact JP's up there at the London Road Club and the fact that Celtic released that statement, I think that tells you that I don't believe Celtic were in. I point the finger at them for banning the tifo because of the big McFarlane banner the week before. I believe that's the reason. That right? Aye.
Well, they've not actually said. They've not actually said anything. It's either that or the show Israel they had cared one. They've not actually pinpointed any of them. And even no matter what one it was, again, it's absolutely shocking. Do you know what I mean? It's the board again. They just pick and choose what bits of Irish history they want to tie themselves.
Absolutely, I thought that was a great statement. I can't mind where I read it, if it was the Green Brigade or no, or who it was, or the North Curve or whoever it was. But they said a club that's because that's why I thought it was the Big McFarlane one. They said that they're happy to rip the arse out of an armed struggle 100 years before, but they seem to have a problem with a 100 year later. I don't know what they think. I would love to go to the AGM and ask them, what do you think they were firing at? They thought they were firing at the Brits in 1916. Fucking water pistols.
It's just there's a massive disconnect between the board
For
and
fuck's sake,
it's not just the Green Brigade. You see, all this, the guys on the forum. I mean, guys on the forum, and it does my boxing, right? I'll sit here and I'll tell you my opinion is, right? And my opinion is just as good as anybody's, whether it's John's, whether it's Paul's, guys in the live chat. But I don't sit here and pertain, is that the right word? Pertain to speak for any other Celtic fan. Do you know what I mean? I just speak for myself. But you see on the forum, you got all these, well, Celtic fans I speak to don't like your Green Brigade and think they should do this. But that doesn't matter. They're no real people to me. Because I could just as much say, well, every Celtic fan I know thinks this. So it doesn't matter. And some people, and the thing about it is, the Green Brigade the Green Brigade's not that actual many people. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. It's a group of guys. I doubt there's even 150 people actually in the Green Brigade.
I think there was 90. I think it was 90 kettled in. Was there 90 kettled in London Road?
I mean, in any time I'm at the football,
just for the atmosphere.
Aye, because it's the fault. That's what the North Curve is, right? And the Green Brigade is that, and see it in the. I mean, I've met a couple of them just kind of when I've been in the standing section, and they're all just young guys that are out to have a good time and enjoy the football.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the pyro thing, people are against it, but I'm merely the case, right? I like it, to be honest, but if it's going to get the club into trouble, you need to rein it in then. That's the way I look on things like that. Do you know what I mean? But when you look at tifos that have got across Europe and stuff like that, that's a lot of shite when you're arguing when a board's arguing with their fans or tifos and stuff like that. And anybody comes out with a pattern that, politics shouldn't be involved in football. No, go and look at any stadium across Europe at certain points in time. Football stadiums for years have been the perfect arenas for people to put forward political stuff.
For Ukraine that time.
But everything, even you can get. I mean, even down to keep politics out of football, but you've got Celtic and Barcelona standing there with a thing with a banner for Nelson Mandela died. Do you know what I mean? Football clubs all across the world so many of them are built on like the political situations and stuff like that over the years.
Celtic can fly the pride flag for the North Stand. They can bring out a fourth kit, the love kit and pride colours. Nobody asked me how I feel about that for a faith perspective. I just accept the fact that if I go to see Celtic, I've got to accept that my beliefs don't necessarily tie up with everybody else's. But the boards don't seem to be able to get there, eh? They seem to think political. I've said how many times have we said this? You can clap for Nelson Mandela. You can support Ukraine. You can take the knee for Black Lives Matter. Personally, I bend my knee one place, and that's for Sunday. And it's
the TA abseiling off your roofs.
Absolutely. A thin veneer of their songbook. Their songbook in Sunday. You should be arrested just for singing that.
Those days are gone. Like they really are.
Say again.
I says those days are gone. Like, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ!
Absolutely.
Like, you see now how many families now in Ireland are English and Irish married. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's just ridiculous. Like, you know.
But the thing about it is, right, and they keep going on, right, Celtic fans sing about things that they love.
Oh yeah, exactly. Marcus, come.
They sing about things that they hate. That's the difference. Do you know what I mean? I mean, their songbook, especially for the liquidation times, the full fan base get toxic as anything.
These same fans, Denmark, right? These same fans, Denmark, would crib when Rangers sing about Tommy Barnes. Do you get me?
P. McLaughlin. See, that's a great point you're saying. What's the point in telling us about Brother Wilfred then? Go and ask Mark. Mark will tell you about the dilution of Celtic's founding statement. The actual statement that Celtic was formed to feed the immigrant Irish Catholic community to what that statement is. Now, you wouldn't recognise it.
No.
To put a food on the table for
Vincent,
the East End. That's not what it said.
The Paul and stuff like that, isn't
Absolutely. The same with St Mary's. The St Mary's and the Carlton there, eh? The place, the St Mary's in the Cup, we can drop fucking money. We're doing an American tour, we drop money all over the place for PR. St Mary's in the Carlton, where Celtic's birthplace, it should be a listed building as far as we're concerned. They're on their arse all the time. And the best that Celtic can do is get a fucking lick of paint when there's a prominent Celtic player, aka Tommy Burns, dies, eh? They're a fucking disgrace.
Aye.
Is that the church where they have their mass once a year?
Aye, Paul, aye.
Yeah.
If the Green Brigade want a tifo, their next tifo should be the Celtic board are a fucking disgrace.
I'll let them know, John. You'll pay for that one. You'll sponsor that. I'll put on the sponsored by the bishop. A picture of a bishop just standing there with the fingers. The Celtic board are a fucking disgrace.
And I don't agree. I don't agree with them all the time, but I would back them right up to say what they want to say. Eh?
But see, that's my take on a lot of it. That is right, and to the same extent as well, you can understand right why Rangers fans maybe even some of their songs. I can understand why they kind of want to sing them, and they're not maybe that bad in the bigger picture. But 90% of them, it's just absolute fucking nonsense. I mean, but I've seen Celtic fans giving them a lot of part out of this. The rip off of that Caledonia song, right?
Aye.
It's pish, but it's better than F the Pope. And, do you know what I mean? It's putting a bit of thought into it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's like just trying to get some songs going that aren't just constantly. Aye, it's a weird way. It's just the hatred has been cranked up a level and a half for the liquidation in that 2012. The absolute brain daftness and one of the reasons why I think, and I've spoke to a lot of Celtic fans about this, that have had Rangers fans as pals and stuff, and it's one of the reasons as well why we stopped them coming on the forum, because you can't have a decent conversation with a Rangers fan these days. I mean, I've used the analogy or whatever it is for years. It's like playing chess with a pigeon.
Yeah.
They'll knock over the pieces, waddle about the board, do a couple of shites, and then kid on it to win the game. There's just you can't, and there was no point of even getting into a bit of banter with them, because we all know where it was going to end up. Just the fucking depth of fucking the sickness. Do you know what I mean? And it isn't. There's got to be decent Rangers fans out there that are fed up with all this as well. I seen someone on their Twitter, and it was I don't even know what it was. I hope this doesn't sound racist. It was something to do with Muslim holidays or something like that, right? They'd done something at Ibrox for a Muslim holiday, right? And some of the messages underneath it for actual Rangers fans and that. And I'm thinking this, and I'm sitting there doing that to myself. Would you say that sitting in a group of Rangers fans and feel comfortable saying that? Do you get what I mean? Is sitting there being as openly like racist and downright, like, do you know what I mean? Going on about even all that stuff, Tommy Robinson and all this shit and everything.
They'd probably all have a fucking suicide vest on, but I wouldn't say nothing, but I keep my mouth shut.
Oh, but do you think they would sit there and do you think, and if you're sitting in like in a Rangers pub and you can just sit there and be that openly, absolutely.
But see, that's the way it is, Mark. No, do you know what? They're brave people behind the keyboard. Do you know what I mean? Blocking their face probably on their Twitter feed, not showing their face, but they're brave men then behind the keyboard. Then you know.
I think that's got a lot to. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I mean, Twitter that's the fucking shithole of a place.
Peter McLaughlin's in there. Always makes me laugh when somebody says Peter McLaughlin's in there. He's for a mixed family, eh? I grew up with a wee boy. And he found out that he's somebody must have told him that, so he went to school, so he was brought up Catholic, but he found out somebody must have told him his dad was a Protestant, eh? So he locks himself in the bathroom, and his mammy's talking away, and she says, "Look, you'll need to come out and tell me what it is." He says, "I'm not coming out." He's just a wee lad, eh? He was a couple of years younger than me. And Catholic says to him, he says to him, "You'll need to come out." He says, "I'm not coming out." He says, "You just need to tell me one thing. Am I a half caste?" He must have heard that word somewhere.
I remember the first time I ever brought Veronica home. So my mum and dad, the first time I brought Veronica home,
right.
And told my mum and dad she was from Poland and stuff like that. The first thing my mum says to her was, "Are you related to any Germans because we don't like Adolf Hitler in this house?" And I swear to God, man. I swear to God. And Veronica said, "No, Mrs. Kiley." She says, "I'm not. I'm no German relatives." Or that's grand enough to get on well here. So, and I was just looking, going, me and my dad were looking at you going, did she just fucking say that? I swear to God. I swear to God. Veronica still tells that story. First thing my mum ever said to her.
See, when they're singing, see, when you're getting finished with the Billy Boys on Sunday, there you go, there's a shock. I thought that was banned, but there you go. Apparently the Polish that can kettle 90 Celtic fans in London Road seem to be able to have missed fucking their supporters coming into the ground with masks and fucking pyros. And apparently you can sing you're up to your knees in Fenian bloods every day. Go and try singing you're up to your knees in Muslim blood, or you're up to your knees in gay blood, or you're up to your knees in Jewish blood.
Transformer blood.
Absolutely. But see, the bottom line is the Catholic community in Scotland are fair game, and and that's the bottom line. Don't even call it. See when somebody tells you Scotland's got a sectarianism problem, bollocks. Scotland's got an anti-Catholic problem. Scotland's got a bigger anti-Catholic problem than the North of Ireland. Than the North of Ireland's got. North of Ireland's made, obviously because they were forced to put it on the table. They've made more progress than we've made. I've got a good wee pal in Coatbridge, and this conversation got to a point one night. A guy, she says, "Oh, we're all Jock Thompson's bairns." I don't know if you've heard that term before. That's when somebody's ready to get in and they say, "Oh, listen, we're all Scottish. We're all Jock Thompson's bairns." And me, John, says, "Aye, is that right? No, me, buddy. I've been a Fenian bastard for I was 4. And me tell you, Scotland.
Tartan army talk, that, innit? That odd Jock Thompson stuff.
Still hiding behind fucking shortbread and tartan fucking dogs. Scotland will never be independent and will never deserve to be independent until we address the institutionalist anti-Catholicism in Scotland. That's a long way away from Barry Ferguson. I've got a confession to make there. We actually came back on the train, a group of 4 of us, and we were actually singing "Oh Barry Barry" because we were just hoping he gets the job. Because I say I don't even think they're that daft to give him the job.
Nobody American billionaires coming in that.
Aye, the 1690s boys.
Oh. Fairy tale stuff, that, honest to God.
See, even if they're coming in, man, they're not coming in to throw fucking millions at them, that's for sure. Right? They might come in and asset strap them.
So what did I hear? That they're buying this, that the club is in such distress, Mark, that they're buying this so cheap that the club is in distress.
They're buying it because it's a distressed asset.
Yeah, distressed asset. Yeah.
They can buy that, right? See if they want to buy 51%. If you want to buy 30% of a company, you trigger an Article 9 of the takeover panel rules. So you need to offer all the shareholders the exact same price. So they need to prove that they've got the money to buy 100% of the company, right? So they've got all these shares to buy already off you guys. They've got to prove they've got money to buy all the rest of them. They've got the debts to cover. Right, the only way they're going to make money out of this is doing what they're going to do and doing what Man United done, the Glazers done, dump the debt, and what they done with Leeds, to dump the debt back onto them. So it actually becomes Rangers debt, and then you're paying us for X amount for your stadium. you're paying us X amount for the training ground, you're paying X, and so Rangers actually end up paying the debt off by renting the ground and stuff off the
Jesus
company.
Christ, well, I was watching
I've said it before. Sorry, Paul, to
Right.
interrupt, but see, honestly, and I've said this on the forum, and the Rangers forum took it the wrong way. See, in my opinion, the best thing they've got to know is the people in charge of Rangers now, because there's an emotional attachment there. These guys are putting millions of pounds, right? They maybe weren't rid of them or they're no good enough, but these guys are putting millions of pounds in out their own pocket to keep the lights on at Rangers, and they want rid of them for some faceless American investment firm.
Want money, Mark.
This is nothing to do with actual 49ers. This is to do with their investment firm. The guy for Leeds is trying to drum up this deal with this medical guy that Dave King seems to have got on side. But see, when these guys come in, if they get the power, there's no emotional tie to the club. They're investing. They want money back. No, I mean, for me, honestly, right, and this is a common sense thing, right? I hate them. You know how I feel about Rangers, but for a common sense side of things, it's like it's better the devil you know, right? We don't like a lot of what Dermot Desmond does or Disney Day, but we know that at the end of the day, he's got that emotional tie to Celtic, and if money's needed, he'll fund it for somewhere. But we're ran that well, we don't need to, and that's the thing about it. It doesn't matter who owns them. There's only so much money they can spend. So Elon Musk, Donald Trump, fucking Ian Paisley Jr. could buy them the Mora, and it wouldn't make one iota of difference to how much money they can spend in the summer. It's just pie in the sky, made up shit that for this Dave King trying to get his money back. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, him and his money, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What do we miss here?
I was watching there, the interview there with David Radcliffe, and he was saying how close Manchester United came from not paying their wages last November and December, how close they actually came.
Oh, that Jim Ratcliffe, that's frightening. That's frightening, Paul.
Isn't it?
For a club of Man United size.
Yeah, really is, like, Jesus Christ, man.
But again, he's taking a lot of sticker stuff, some of the stuff he's doing with cutting costs and stuff a bit.
He has
that's what Fergus done when he came in as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you work for a big grossable shopping company, Paul. Do you get a free lunch every day?
Yeah.
You do? I will see that. Right, well, fair
Well, I
dues then.
say by kind of by law, Mark, they have to, because I'm driving. Do you get me?
Oh, right,
You know?
right. But I mean,
So,
I don't know. If you're working in an
get-
office or stuff like
Yeah.
that, you take your own lunch.
The office staff don't.
Right, aye.
But because I'm on the road and I'm driving,
You've got a kind of travelling allowance stuff and things like that.
travel
Aye.
for your thing, like, you know.
But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Ratcliffe getting cutting the kind of costs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fair dues, they're all Man United. They're one of the biggest, richest clubs in the world, but they're not obviously one of the richest now if they're that kind of dire with their finances. And that shows you how poor they've been run. And again, Paul, that goes back to what we're talking about. That leveraged buyout stuff that the Glazers done. I mean, basically they bought the club on tick. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how people can get away with that.
I don't think you could now, Mark. But say going back 10, 12 years ago, I suppose it was different. Was it? There was less kind of regulations around there, like, you know what I mean?
I don't think they would let them do that now.
You know, I don't think they could, like, you know, but
who was it? They stopped a takeover for a while down in England, didn't they? Who was that?
The Everton one. The new fellas came in. Some new fellas after getting the club now, they won't let another fella come in and get it or something like that.
Even the Newcastle one, that get held up for a bit as well, didn't it? Because it was Saudi Arabian money and stuff. I mean, they've come in and they've no getting. Everybody thought that's it, Newcastle, the next big fish because of the money. They're not allowed to spend it. They can't
work, because is it their revenue? Like,
they're no earning it. They're no earning. They want to spend money. They're no earning.
Have to get into Champions League, Mark, to bring up your revenue, like, you know, fair juice for winning the League Cup, I tell you. Fucking England could be
They had
kicking themselves there by not appointing Eddie Howe, you know.
But you got to say, John,
They had a chance. They had a chance to rebrand themselves. See, when they were resurrected in 2012, they had a chance to. They had a chance to resurrect themselves and distance themselves from all the shite, for the Paris abseiling, for the fucking Brunel. They had a chance to do that, and they didn't. And you know what? That's forever what will cripple them. It doesn't matter who buys them. See if they'd distance themselves for that. See, for every one person that would have walked away, two would have went and fucking watched them. And they didn't. And it doesn't matter who buys them, who invests them. Fundamentally to the core, their brand is just toxic.
aye.
It's just fucking.
It'd have busted, John. That would have busted the survival lie.
Do you hear me, Mark? They can't even win and celebrate in a decent manner.
No.
You know?
I tell you
But
what,
John, if they'd done that, that would have busted wide open the old survival lie that all we're the same club.
yeah.
I mean, see if they'd any sense, right? Anybody, I mean, the money that they've spunked out of for 2012 is astronomical, wasn't it? It's well over £100 million.
You're the
Can you imagine?
the biggest wage bill in Scotland 2 years ago.
Aye.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
Going down there, starting again in the lower division, right?
Still
Investing in
paying
the
for wages, Mark,
investing in the youth, and even coming up to the Premier League and stealing the best young players for the Premier League, and then just letting that team grow, adding a couple of good players every season, every window or whatever, working their way through the leagues. By the time they get back up here, they could have had £100 million in the bank.
Yep.
But it wasn't, they went down there and it was, who we playing the day, whatever that was with the Hedge, when they ended up in the Hedge, 3-5-star hotels and fucking their bus with all the Rangers branded bus, and Ali McCoy we'll get the suits and the brogues and shite on, and fuck off. Did you know what I mean? And the fans just lapped up, and the survival myth just grew and snowballed, and it became this unstoppable, massive piece of toxic shite right in the middle of Scottish football.
As I said to you, Monday morning, I've still got to wake up the way that I woke up many times in the 80s, in the early 90s. You're waking up thinking, you know what? I've got a spare heat, and I was celebrating yesterday, and we've won fuck all, and they've left it in our treble, and they need to get to that realisation. But the bottom line is, somebody needs to sit. If I own Celtic, I'm going to Rogers' room and I'm telling him as well. We've lost 9 goals against them. 9 goals against them, Lucky to get through one cup final, a 3-0 defeat and a 3-2 win, and they're not paying fucking Barry Ferguson £2.5 million. Sort it out. It's you need to come up with something different for our trip to Ibrox the next time, Over to you, Brendan. Let's see what you've got, That's no fucking. As I said, it was a victory for fucking staunchness. It was a victory for fucking daftness in the park pie.
It was like an Alex McLeish, John. It was like an Alex McLeish fucking type of game. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There was no fit, but they didn't outplay us. You know what I mean? They outmuscled us, and that's what they've done. Every game that they've fucking hurt us for years. It's just that they've outmuscled us.
Mark, see everything they done to us on Sunday. I would have done to them if the shoe was another fit. I'd been fucking bullying them at a 5 in the middle of the park. I'd be trying to cut off through passes through the lines. I'd be bullying you, and I'd be getting away with it. The referee let me get away with it, and I'd be wasting fucking time. And if I needed a water break, I'd be having a water break because the referee can't control it. They done nothing on Sunday that I wouldn't have done myself. They should have been another fit. The bottom line is Rogers is yet to prove that he's that he can see through that and change. As I said, go back in the banter page. This was a couple of weeks ago. I'd said in the banter page, has Rogers got what it takes here to think, you know what, I'm going to change my cut. I'm going to sit in this time, because they've done very well in Europe. They've struggled against a low block, Motherwell, St Mirren, Queen's Park. I'm going to invite them in Tapias. we don't need to win the game, and let's see if we can exploit the pace we've got in Maida, Jota, and Jota and Kuhn up front, and then yet again, to me, it's arrogance and fucking disrespect for the manager is the biggest contributing factor to what we saw on Sunday. So he needs to get his shit together before we go to Ibrox again, eh?
Oh, he needs to come up with something.
Absolutely.
It's a pride thing. It's a psychological thing now. Do you know what I mean? We need to.
Right.
Well, I don't think, Mark. I don't think he will, Mark. He precisely what John is saying there. Sees ego, and Roger's like, this is the way we play. Do you know what I mean? That's, you know, if he thinks that Cal McGregor being missing on Sunday was one of the reasons. Well, Cal McGregor played the last two games, and it was still the same result. We were played off the park in midfield. You know, it's like John was saying.
Paul, that's why I'm reluctant. Shite as ever. That's why I'm reluctant to blame the players fundamentally on Sunday. I'm blaming the system that the manager asked the players to play. We see if there's 10 points
we spoke about this before as well. There was a perfect example on Sunday with a corner, and the ball ended up back at Schmeichel.
Absolutely.
The one that kind of everybody and Kuhn broke it down and played it out, ended up back at Schmeichel.
What I've noticed about Schmeichel, the two first goals, like Schmeichel, right? Schmeichel waved his hands as if to say the ball's going wide. So to me, Schmeichel has got his angles wrong in both those goals. If he thought that those balls were going wide, his position was all wrong.
Is that what that means, Paul? Is that what that means when a keeper down?
Yeah, but you know, when he's going like that, he's telling people it's going wide. And I forgot to say that, Schmeichel is telling them the ball's going wide when he's doing that. So Schmeichel has got his positioning all wrong. If he thought that was going wide, Schmeichel should be out a bit farther from the line. Do you get me? So he's an angle down the back post. But Schmeichel wasn't in angle with the back post, so the ball, he actually didn't know where he fucking was. You know? So that's why I was actually looking, when I looked back the game and I saw him doing it twice, I was going, why haven't you made an attempt? And the reason he didn't make an attempt is because he was fully convinced the two goals were going wide.
I mean, for the first goal, I mean, this is one of the things, and I've been on about this for months again. We've not got a big physical presence in the centre of defence or anywhere. So I mean, right, their first goal, we're asking, why was Schlupp marking him at the near post?
Schlupp was a big guy, like,
but would that have been Greg Taylor's job? Would that have been Greg Taylor's job? Where's our big dominant head case or centre back that's just going to fling their head in there and win balls in the air?
I think I'm going to agree with one of these and disagree with the other one. I think what Mark has said is CCV is probably the best we've got, but he's not nearly as good as everybody thinks he is. And Naroki, just absolutely no chance. The guy's just not got the pace. He can play when your back was against a wall like that. He can defend, and that's why you bought him, because he played in a team with the same system. But if you ask him, he play a high line and pass through the lines, it's not happening. And if it's when did we play a ball on Sunday where we got behind the Rangers back four, back five? Sometimes we were playing a back six. Their tactics was fucking spot on, and Rodgers couldn't fucking change it. Your elite manager, $2.5 million a year, couldn't fucking change it, and some of the rest is could have, even before a game. Sit in, you know, vulture press, let Celtic have the ball, let them pass it about that fucking horseshoe. We'll hunt and patch, we'll shut them down. When they make a mistake, we'll exploit it. You think,
but it's true what you said, Mark.
You've seen this.
What you said, Mark, that they won't go to the player. they were going to the ball. They knew
Aye.
where the pass was going to go.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? You know,
Then they know that there's no going to be a big punt up the park. They know that the player's going to have to pass it. So there's only so many options to pass it, and they seem to go where the ball's going to go, and that's how there was so many kind of loose passes and interceptions and stuff like that. And again, Rangers, it's one of the only teams I actually see doing it against us, but they seem to have it down to a T. How many times simple passes just get intercepted?
But see the third goal, see their winner. Butland gets the stats show. Butland gets an assist. Butland's got a fucking assist for that. It's fucking route one.
I actually don't know. TCV
They done to us what we should have done to them.
I really don't. You know what I mean? People
But was that Paul?
there. I said I really don't know what Vickers was doing for that goal. You know what I mean? It's like he ducked down, or did he misjudge it? And people go on about Scales and stuff. Scales is one of the best headers of the ball at the club. You know?
Johnson obviously slaps as well, eh?
But I mean, that's what I said that at the start, Paul. Imagine we were sitting here the night and it was just even imagine social media and stuff for the last few days. If Greg Taylor had put in a slip performance, Scales had a performance like Trusty. I mean, what John saying about Narowski, right, John? Right, see, but well, is there no point maybe in a European game where Narowski could do that job for us and just be that big lump of wood in the middle of the area, hidden stuff and blocking it?
If your back's against the wall, aye. But don't ask him how to play how you play in Scotland when you're playing. Our centre backs are playing all our stuff. Everything comes for the goalkeeper, goes through the centre halves. You need to be able to play a high line. You need to be able to. You need to be able to pass through the lines, and when the ball gets played over the top, you need to have the pace to cover that third of the park. You've still got to go in the ruts. You don't got that. But,
like Doctor was saying there, Kyogo's goals at Ibrox were route one, exactly. And we have guys who need his pace up there, and we still didn't do it the other day. Do you know what I mean? We didn't exploit his pace against an aging Barrowan who was on his fucking knees. Do you get me?
See. What Rogers no go to can he say? See, you're asking, go and fucking do him and take a yellow card, eh?
Aye.
Go and fucking wipe him out and give him a mouth for a red ash, aye. Let's sit in here. We don't win, and it's fucking 2-8. Punt about our attack. Let us go long ball and day to them. What they're doing to us, eh? It changed fuck all again.
See what you're saying, John? Have it like somebody like Maeda clattering them. Do you know what I mean? Early doors, get Maeda to clatter him. If Maeda gets booked, that's all right. There's no chance he's getting booked again. But getting Raskin Seeds, I see the first tackle he's putting in on one of your midfielders. He's probably got to get booked for it.
That's just
it's the dark arts. They've got to fucking match them with this now.
Absolutely.
The amount of times Maeda gets clattered and he gets no freeze, not just in the Rangers games, but in all the amount of times he gets clattered and doesn't get a freeze.
Maeda couldn't play for Japan today because he's got severe bruising.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to fucking sort that out. Somebody's got to sort Raskin out. Somebody's got to sort. What's his name? I can never mind his name. The boy that squirts water in the crowd. What's his name?
Kearney. He's only on loan. He's only on loan at them anyway. You'll be away.
Thank fuck for that.
I saw the best thing about that on a post a couple of weeks back, Mark. I said to you that they're expecting 10 to 15 million for him. You know, I'm on for the play. You know, he's on loan. Yeah,
he's on loan.
you know, he's on loan. Jesus Christ, like, yeah, you don't even know what they've spent or what they've done. You know.
But it's I mean, again, it's the dark arts. And it's not even, and this isn't just Rangers that do this. We've seen it before, that how teams and they go and they get there's a pattern of play that you clatter them, right? Or right, don't you clatter them for a while yet, right? It's your turn. and you see it happen. Do you know what I mean? You see it happening. But Celtic, I mean, I'm not wanting Celtic to be a dirty team, but I'm at least wanting us to have that bit of fight in us that we're not going to get bullied. Because that's the see what you're saying, John. It's like, I mean, it's not a fucking fight, obviously, but it's 3 against 5 every game in that midfield, and we get overrun just even through numbers. Do you know what I mean? I mean, McGregor, what game was it that Clement had 2 men on McGregor? He didn't get a sniff, and then he changed it, and the next time McGregor was running amok. Was that under Clement or was that under Beale? Might even be under Beale.
So what stops Rodgers saying they've got 5 in the middle of the park, we've got 3, right? Slips in a fucking nightmare. Let's bring fucking Taylor on because he can come in, bolster up the midfield. Johnson's in a fucking nightmare. Let's bring on Ralston because if nothing else, he fucking hates him.
At least Matt would have been for a tackle job.
That. There, let's sit in. We don't need to win the game. Let us play a long ball. Let's us date them with their doing to us here. So what? How the fuck does Rodgers not get there? Am I missing something?
No, it's baffling. It's baffling that it's baffling that we just get bullied.
Well, the bullying's the hardest bit to take. I said to the boy, right, I didn't give my right leg to play against him, eh? And you were just needing somebody to sort of that wee Charney boy and Raskin to, eh? Walking up the Celtic touchline at the end of the game, past the main stand, throwing bottles of water into the main stand. You're thinking, fuck off.
I couldn't hack that game, and if I was kid, I'd be sent off in the first half, and I played in goal.
I don't think I'd get out the tunnel. I'd be like bite folks' noses off and that in the tunnel.
Mark will tell you, I've said to see you come back for Ibrox 3-0 down, you should have fucking 7 yellow cards and 3 reds.
Exactly. But, you know, if you look at this and look at our team is actually, it's soft, and we don't like players in our faces. We don't. And we're too soft then to Italian against the John. That's it. Do you know what I mean?
And one of the wee toughest guys that we've got in the fucking squad, Taylor, wasn't he there? Do you know what I mean?
See?
I think he played his last game, Mark.
I think so too, but do you know what I mean? The word is he's signed a pre-contract with that other mob, which is fair dues, and maybe he doesn't want to play, maybe he doesn't want to risk injury, maybe Rodgers is just... Is that Cummins? He's signed a contract with West Ham too, isn't he?
I still think if you'd have brought Greg Taylor on, and we'll never know the reasons for it, why we've got to hear, but the boy's coming to the end of his career. He's got a right to go and early sell about the best deal I think he can get himself. He's been a great servant to Celtic for me. He was asked to step into a man's shoes. That maybe meant he wasn't the most popular, but for me, he'd have been over his 5 years at the club. He'd have been one of the first names on the team sheet for me against them. And if I'm Rodgers on Sunday, I'm thinking Slips in a fucking nightmare here, and Taylor's not going to go in there and let you down any more than he's letting you down here now. The same as with Johnson, yanked, get Tony Ralston on. I don't know. Is he trying to prove a point, Rodgers? I fucking don't know.
You know what? Maybe he is. Maybe he is, and maybe that was his point, saying to the board, "I've kids on the bench here. I can't be on fucking kids."
A bench full of YTS players, and
but if Trusty's fit, if Scales is fit, James Forrest's fit, if McGregor's fit, if Bernardo's fit, do you know what I mean? The bench looks a totally different prospect then.
But how weak does your bench look, man?
Oh, definitely. But I mean, a lot of that does come down to injuries. And if Rodgers wants to make statements against the fucking board, then it in derby games isn't the place to do it.
No, absolutely. Especially when it means so a lot to the fans.
That's the thing. I mean, I mean, it is fair. We're still miles in front of them in the league. At the end of the season, hopefully we're celebrating our treble, and they've still, no matter what happens, they've won fuck all. But
absolutely,
it's still that if any team you want to beat, it's them.
It's not just that, Mark. Like, you turn up to these derbies, like, that's just what pisses me off. Do you get me?
Aye, they're not turning up.
That was a disgrace. Do you know what I mean? And it hasn't
one
just
of the things I've always said to you, Paul, is I can take Celtic getting beat, but if you're a Celtic player, you've got to give fucking 100% in that game. You've got to come off that
but Mark,
part
it just hasn't been
everything on there, and it's not been like that in derbies.
No, but not just derbies, Mark. Like, how many times did we say?
Listen,
it was a game of two halves.
Honestly, I think we need to cut the players a bit of slack. It's been a long season.
Well, do you think the players have run down? Do you think they've bought down? That we didn't have the winter break this year. It was the first year we actually didn't have the winter break. So do you think that's maybe it has caught up in the team now that they've played so many games?
I think we need to cut the team slack. They performed fantastically in Europe. They're possibly just about ready to put their hand in a treble. For me on Sunday, the buck stops with the man that sent them out to play the system that he sent them out to play. And we know, it's to say they still wake up on Sunday thinking, once you wake up Monday morning again, you've won fuck all, eh? But Roger still needs to get hearing about this season.
As I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard this, right? One of the things that's right getting on my wicket now is, see when the ball goes out for a throw-in,
yeah,
you're waiting for either Johnson or Slip to come up to take, or Greg Taylor if he's playing to come up and take.
There's nothing quick, Mark. Remember
Paul, as soon as that ball went out, whoever was nearest to it took the throw in, and it kept that urgency and that pressing on. And it's as much as, I mean, it's like, I don't know, I seen somebody put it up earlier on. Something about like the break up play, the fouls, the wee stupid fouls that there. I put it up there every time we lost the ball. I thought he meant to give away a foul to keep him in there. But even down to their wee niggly fouls, just to break up the play and stop the actual urgency of Celtic getting any momentum built up. Celtic don't do that. We need to get back to a wee bit of what Anne's done. As soon as the ball, right, there the whistle, right, get the ball down and get it played as quick as you can.
We're taking about 2 or 3 touches before we actually make a pass.
Mm-hmm.
They had the dark arts down to a fine art and Sunday, and fair enough, they kept putting the boot in to the referee was going to tell them not to put the boot in, and the referee never told them to stop putting the boot in. They wasted time. To the referee was going to tell them not to waste time, and the referee,
so that young fella Barron didn't get a yellow card, did he? He didn't even get a yellow card, did he, Barron? Did he? He didn't even get a card, did he, for amount of fouls that he did for persistent foul? He didn't get a yellow card.
Who?
Sorry.
Who?
Conor Barron.
No, I don't think he did. What did Barry Ferguson get you booked for?
Because he told the judge he was late for a court case in his suit.
His brogues were scuffed in the post. His brogues were scuffed.
His Walter's cardigan was that was done. And his brogues weren't shiny enough.
Yeah. He just looked like a right tug in that suit, didn't he, with the tattoo coming down his hand. He looks like someone that'd be up in court in the morning going to a Tommy Robinson.
That was exactly that, man. It was as if he was doing court in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bobby's bang on. Tactics fucking baffling.
Yeah,
fucking baffling.
But he's not. I honestly, I don't see him changing it, John. I really don't see changing that for the next derby. It'd be the exact same thing.
See if he doesn't change tactics to go to Ibrox and the next time we play there, he needs to get the fuck.
Yeah,
that's the two choices you put your face here. I think he's the best manager. I didn't want him back, but I admitted I was wrong. I think he was the best manager available at that time. But seeing, listen, he's hearing about his ego and he changed his tactics going to Ibrox, he needs to get the fuck for everybody's benefit. He showed it. The sad thing is he showed it against Atalanta and against Bayern Munich that he learned a bit of pragmatism and he could set up a team not to lose. He But his fucking biggest mistake this weekend was he disrespected them. He disrespected them.
But when I see people, right, like when I see people criticise Adamina, but you look at the shift he put in against Atlanta, and he was put on to hold up that ball and get in the defenders' faces, and that's what you need in the next derby is Adamina up there, getting in their faces, holding up the ball. Just something different, John. Do you get me? You know?
Yep.
I mean, it's like people would own about Kyogo's system, but then it's like, well, because of the lack of transfer, whoever you want to blame for that, but so we're now playing Maeda. But Maeda for me,
and we're weaker on the left, Mark, because of it.
Weaknesses in the left, Paul, was I've said all along. I much prefer Maeda out there than the left, but it also means that we're still playing the same system that we're doing before for Kyogo. So it wasn't working for Kyogo. So was it the system or was it the player? Because it's still not working really for Maeda when he plays through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see for the summer, right?
There.
I mean, I want Big Ida to be a revelation for us, right? It's going to come, right? There's goals in the lad, right? For whatever reason,
this is actually his career best in the season. His career, Adamina, and he's played very little games, and he's missed pre-season. This is a career best for Adamina.
You think the penalties he took against Hibs, his performance against Kilmarnock is one of the best I've seen. Arguably, if he did as they come to Celtic last season, you don't win the league, you don't win a cup.
No.
So somebody needs to fucking calm down here with Ida, eh? He's
definitely.
The biggest problem that happened to Adam Ida this year was the Bawz not getting that deal done quicker.
I gave you, Paul. You said they'd fucking messed up pre-season and coming back in with a new system that Rodgers was putting in place and that. I mean, I'm happy enough with him now. I'm happy enough with him, right? But next season for me, he's got to step it up a bit.
Absolutely.
But what has he got, Mark? 15 goals, I think, this season, is he?
It's about that anyway, 15, 16.
15, 16. Like, I mean, that's... And you look at, has he started many games? No. He's come off the bench.
David Castles is saying, no heartburn anymore because we play. But is he saying we don't need a... Fuck's sake, we've been bullied again. We need somebody. You need somebody to look after your fit players. You know, I'm going up there and I'm walking up the Gallagate on Sunday and I'm thinking, right, what's my biggest fear? Rodgers, because he's an arrogant bastard and he learns fuck all and he's not going to change this and he's going to disrespect Rangers. And this is before we even fucking get there, eh? And we've got nothing hard enough in the middle of the park. So I disagree. No, David's saying we need Hartman again.
I know.
Fantastic.
I agree with him.
Absolutely.
We need some muscle. I mean, you can still be a good football player, but you can still be a bit hard in the tackle and a bit of a tough guy.
I know he's gone, but I know his thing, but
that was my worry.
Look at Rashid there when he played a few games. Like he was a solid midfielder. Like he was small. You wouldn't see him get bullied off the ball. Rashid. You know what I mean?
David's right.
You don't have to be big. You don't have to be.
No, we're not talking about big hard man. We're not talking about big hatchet men. Do you know what I mean?
But that's like
we're talking about somebody can play a bit, but can have put a bit of dig in, have a bit of physical presence in the team. And I mean, I don't even think we've got that as a centre back. I really don't. That's one of the things that I think is missing in our team, as well as a good CD. I've said it for years. I'm not going on about McGregor. Do you know what I mean? McGregor is a football player, is one of the best technical players that Scotland's probably ever produced in the last 30, 40 years maybe. But as an out-and-out CDM, he leaves a lot to be desired. But
a question to Toby there, right? The last two games, last 2 or 3 games, he's been coming off around the 60 and 70th minute. All right? Okay?
Who are we talking about?
Callum McGregor. He's been coming off.
He's obviously been carrying an oak. That's
but that's what I'm saying, Mark, right? But it's just going back to what John was saying about Rodgers' ego, that instead of resting McGregor in those matches and playing him for this game, it was just arrogance from Brendan Rodgers. No, I play him these and I'm going to rest him for the fucking Rangers game. You know, that's kind of where you kind of look at it. You know,
David, sorry, I misunderstood your comment. You're bang on. We need a bit of dig in the middle of the park again. Every day of the week. I'm thinking, as I see when I'm walking up the Gallagate, I'm thinking, my 2 fears are better in every position. Rodgers, he's not going to treat. He needs to see if you go back in the back. I said he needs to treat this like a European game. He needs to sit back. We don't need to win it. Invite them on to us, and we need to see. Kearney, is it Kearney? What's this? I can never mind his name. Somebody needs to stick.
You don't need to learn it, Johnny. You'll be way back home in a couple of months.
Somebody needs to stick 2 fingers up his nose and drag him onto the red ash. In the same way, fucking we're asking as well. See, when you're playing a game and you're seeing them booting you up and down the park, and the referee's doing fuck all, it's time for you to do the same back again, eh? And you're at that point, you look for Callum McGregor and say, look, why did we get the first yellow card? And we just took it, and we took it, and we fucking took it. We just took it, and we just played into Barry Broggs's staunchness. It was just fucking sad.
We were out-staunched.
We were out-staunched, exactly. We were out fucking staunched. So Brendan needs to get his shit together before we go back to Ibrox.
He definitely needs to get something sorted out before we rock up here. When is that? When's that going to be? Maybe.
Yeah, it'll
be. What's that? But just at the end of April or something.
This I say. Yeah.
Just Lewis Ferguson would have been ideal, but a dig. Aye, definitely, Bobby. What about who was it? It was on the radio saying we tapped up Lennon Muller. Was it Derek Ferguson? Was it Barry's brother?
Did he?
Somebody was on Radio Scotland the other night. Somebody in the chat might know, but I think it was maybe even Derek Ferguson saying, I heard, and he actually used the words tapped him up. I'm sure James Forrest wrote a blog about it, I know.
Yeah, but Mark, there's loads of ways now, like you can...
But that's a serious, I mean, that's the thing, Paul, there's ways about that. But that's for somebody to come out on something like the BBC and say that's a bit of a serious allegation, you know what I mean?
I don't expect nothing from them, like, do you know what I mean? From the BBC and them, like, you know what I mean? You know, Rangers certainly can't afford the man, so, you know. What is it supposed to be? A 6 million deal or something like that? 5 million or something, as I heard?
The ref sets it the level of what he considers it to be tolerable. See that, Dr. Strangelove, I kind of agree with that, right? See, especially right, looking at a derby game, things are a bit heated. See, for the first 5 minutes, unless it's actually something really, really serious, I'm looking at the ref to let it slide. Do you know what I mean? The first 5 minutes, the heat of the moment kind of stuff, unless it's an absolute leg breaker. But after that, I mean, there was one, I don't even know who it was with Maeda, maybe just a wee bit in front of the dugouts the other day. Was it Raskin that done it?
Mm-hmm.
Quite late in the game, and it was, I mean, and Maeda stayed down, and it's not like Maeda to stay down. He's not that type of guy, do you know what I mean? He is a hardy wee guy. But some of the tackles, again, they were absolutely shocking. And I mean, it's one-half tackles. They happen in every game. But there's got to be a kind of a level of officiating.
I said that was the one I forgot when I was walking up to the game. I was thinking the biggest things that worried me was Rodgers' ego, no changing it. 2, getting bullied. And 3, a lack of protection for the referee. See if you're playing that game in Europe, you're going to get the football players need to be protected for the thugs, and that's what happens in Europe. It doesn't happen in Scotland, eh? So your Raskins and your wee skirty boy, Waterboy, he
But
gets.
John, it's going back to the point, John. Why there's no Scottish referees reffing European games? Do you get me?
Yeah.
How poor they actually are.
That's probably the three things that worried me was Roger Diego getting bullied in the middle of the park and a lack of protection for the referee, and all of them became a reality in 90 minutes for me. But
And what do you think about the new rule that's going to be coming in next season with the goalkeeper? That if the goalkeeper holds the ball longer than 8 seconds, it's going to be an automatic corner to the opposing team.
Are they bringing that in? Is that one of Arsene Wenger's new rules?
Yeah, it's coming in. Yeah, it's coming in next season. You know,
the fuck about with stuff and that, but it's not going to make much difference really in the bigger picture, really, is it?
No, what I can see, Mark. But that rule only apply if Schmeichel holds the ball longer than 8 fucking seconds, and it won't apply to the other team.
Are they not changing the offside rule as well?
Meant to be.
What's that one?
Oh, they're meant to be. It's meant to be making it, Paul. That it needs to be. Oh, is it something like it needs to be a part that can play the ball? Bobby,
not like your hand or your fucking ankle and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
I mean, the offside rules are an absolute joke now as well. And that thing, it takes a fucking eternity as well. Do you know what I mean?
This is just off the top of my head, right? Bobby's saying there, can Lennon Miller tackle? I've also watched Celtic against Motherwell, and listen, I'm willing to be corrected here. All I'm just saying as a fact is that he's never jumped out to me. And yet, I remember the one player I remember watching. I remember two things. Probably the biggest one in my memory, my living memory, was watching John Collins playing with a poor Hibs team and thinking he's a fucking standout, eh? And even Barry Robson with fucking Dundee United. I've watched
good player in a bad team is always going to stand out.
Absolutely, but I've watched.
And it's a big step then coming up then to Celtic. Like,
I've watched Motherwell, and maybe I'm just getting old, but Miller's never stood to me is anything special. No, I started to be corrected.
And that Rogers says he likes raw players that he can mold them into the kind of player that he wants them. Like you look at Yang, you know what I mean? Yang wasn't great. Everyone had Yang written off, but for me, Yang would be starting at the moment instead of Kuhn. You know,
right?
You know.
Is it? What's your thoughts on Lennon Miller? You know, certainly. See, if you're asking me now, $8 million for Lennon Miller, it's no. If what I've seen, if it's 4, it's a big ask. I remember seeing John Collins play. For me, obviously he kind of divides opinion, but I watched next day beside Collins. John Collins is a fantastic football player, and I said that. I mean, they watch him with a poor Hibs team and think you're just a fucking standout, eh? And you look at like Barry Robson. It was the United be brought in. Hartley. It was a.
They were 30, 31-year-old.
I know. Right, it does. It was Hartley.
Presley.
Hartley was 30 and Robson was 31, or vice versa.
How old was Stephen Presley when we signed him? He was well into his 30s as well, wasn't he?
So what's your take then on Lennon Miller then, Mark?
Oh, he's a young player, that's the thing about it. And I always think that Celtic should be trying to sign the best young players.
Absolutely. Aye,
Is he ready to step up and be a first team choice player at
Who
Celtic?
knows?
I don't know. Sometimes when I see him, I think definitely. Other times I'm like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be interesting to see
The only
if that's for
player,
Scotland, caught up with how he actually plays for Scotland.
the only player in recent times that I thought I would sign you was Lewis Ferguson.
Aye.
That's the only one I've watched in recent times and thought I'd give you a shout.
Just before we go, Mark, there it was a comment you put up a couple of weeks back and just didn't have a choice to talk about. It was Ben Doak saying he was sick of playing down the lowland leagues, and that was one of his reasons for leaving Celtic. That's a bit damning, isn't it? You know that there's going to be more young players leaving Celtic because of that league.
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And again, it's like we've spoke about it 100 times. How the young players aren't going to get better playing against part-time players that are just kicking lumps out you. And do you know what I mean? And it's an absolute joke. It's got, and for me, it's not even just a Celtic problem. It's something that the SFA and the SPFL need to sort out. It is. I mean, their Rangers have done away with their B team. Oh, the gossip. Oh, they can't afford it and that. Well, right, we're talking about Jim Ratcliffe cutting costs. Maybe Rangers said that's a fucking joke. Why are we spending money sending this team down there when we're getting nothing for it? I'm not saying, right, whether it's to cut costs or whether I just think it's a joke, it doesn't matter. It's obviously no worth their while for doing it. And we'll get ex-players saying that it's a waste of time. Anybody with half a brain knows that no young player's going to get better playing at that kind of level.
Couple of points, just I'll need to bolt here, but
no bother.
You're absolutely right. I think you think, seeing you're playing in a reserve league, a proper reserve league, you're playing in first team players that were getting fit and coming back. You were playing against players that maybe first team players that were getting back down the way again, but you're playing against quality, and it meant something. I've watched.
Exactly. That's like the benefit of having that league was when your players were injured. They played a few games in the reserve league and they were match fit. Do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have Navasky playing yesterday, having only played 15 minutes all season. Do you get me? You know,
Navasky would be playing reserve games. He'd have played 30 odd reserve games this season, Paul. And
fit then to come in, Mark. Exactly. You know what I mean?
I used to go and watch the B team when they were based in Celtic. Was based at Airdrie here, and my laddie would be saying to me, "What do you think?" The wee boy went, where did he go? Did he go to one of a 5 team? Go to Dunfermline. The boy played up front. And he'd be saying to me, I think he's good. I said, it's too hard to tell. There's too big a difference. And it's like, I don't know, if you watch Larson, there's a fucking level again. But your man saying there, Strange Love the Doctor saying, Lennon Miller isn't on JC's John Collins' level by any distance. Probably right, but when I went to watch the B team, I looked around and he was sitting right beside me, and I'll tell you, he was still well at his shell, eh?
I watched
he's not very big,
when they came off Sligo.
John Collins.
John Collins, aye.
He's a mad fitness freak, isn't he?
He was sitting beside us at the B team game, and he's absolutely ripped, eh?
Aye.
For a guy, he's and I know for whatever reason he doesn't seem to get big ticks for the Celtic support, but he was a fantastic football player. I said one he was a fantastic football player beside the best football player in my generation was Paul McStay.
Aye, 100%.
I'm going to stand by this. I'm going to nail it to the wall. And if he's wanting to slaughter me, he can slaughter me. I've watched Celtic playing football for 52 years. The first team was in at Celtic Park was 52 years ago, and I've never seen anything better than Paul McStay since. And John Collins was a fantastic football player. I saw him. We were bad for Ibrox, and he scored the runabout Gorham, runabout the wall. He bent the ball around the wall. There's only one Johnny Collins with his Predators on it.
His new Predator boots.
His new Predators. And I went to Ibrox the next game, and I says to my mate, you know what? I was sitting in the Brimley Road stand. I said, he's going to do it again because we mixed the next one, and he scored the very same goal for the very same position. In fact, the daily record of the 240s together. He done it, and he bent the ball around the wall and passed that, and they go, what a football player John Collins was, eh? Was it Monaco? Was it Monaco John went to?
Aye.
But I tell you, seen him up at Airdrie there with the B team. There's no fucking ounce of fat on him, like, eh? He's and he was there watching. If he does love Celtic, eh?
We Fergus fought that all the way, didn't he? Was Collins the first Bosman?
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
And me Fergus fought all the way, saying Monaco wasn't part of the European Union because it wasn't actually in France and all that shit, wasn't it?
It was a principality and not a country, aye.
Right, we wind that up then, lads.
Right, good crack, eh?
Aye, thanks very much for coming on, John. Same to you as well, Paul, bud. Thanks a lot, lads.
No worries.
Hey, Paul, mind you tell that neighbour next time she asks you, can she suggest anything to stop the stairs creaking? You just say, aye, fucking Weight Watchers.
Oh, I did that to him, the poor woman.
Never got to live that one down, Pablo. Never.
Oh, that's a cracker.
I've wronged her, like.
No, I think there's one or two sticks in my mind. I mind it was a big boy. I don't see him on the. He was in America. Was he planter? I was mind his wife shot his dog.
Aye. That Bob.
Yeah. And I said to my big Bob's.
The boys, mind the dog bottom and the boys, and she shot the dog.
And his dog, the dog attacked him,
Aye, the dog attacked him. The dog was hanging off his boys, and his wife got a fucking shooter and shot the dog.
I mean, you say to me, "You're right, Bob," and he says, "Aye." He says, "My wife shot it." Well, for fuck's sake, that's harsh even by Airdrie standards. And I thought, up Big Bob's bird shoots.
Aye.
Big Bob's dog bites Big Bob the boys, and Big Bob's bird shoots it.
He still pops up in my live match chats and
Does
that.
it?
Aye. Man.
Mental. There's a cracker. Right, guys, thanks very much for the crack.
No bother, John.
Listen, we're just here to talk about the subject we love, and if we all get a bit too excited, well, I hope you'll forgive us, but it's a great crack, eh?
It's just a good laugh, man.
Good to talk you on. Good night, God bless.
Right, good night, John. God bless. Right, thanks very much, John. You as well, Paul. Thanks for coming on, bud. Appreciate it. Everybody live chat. Hope you enjoyed it tonight. Again, we'll try and get on a wee bit more often. It's just guys have got work and family stuff to get on with. I'm just a wee lonely guy that nobody wants to talk to or play with anymore. Oh no, that doesn't even sound right, does it? Right, good night, lads. Hail, hail. God bless.